I wish you welcome to today's flight from Hawthorne Industrial to Lake Tahoe. Even though the weather is quite alright, we'll still brief the IFR flight as it will give me an opportunity to discuss some new stuff, maybe. After the briefing, you are free to choose if you're gonna fly the IFR flight or a VFR flight, or perhaps a combination of the two. It's really up to you. If I look at the weather, I can see that currently we have winds from the north at our departure. We have a clear weather. Current destination weather is also wind from the north, with less wind, still clear skies and slightly higher pressure. As for the forecast, we can see that its forecast is variable wind of 5 knots and a great visibility. Then we have next one, which is here from group, but it's started at 2200 Zulu, which is in almost 4 hours, and I hope that we'll be on the ground by then. I will not go more into the weather today because it's quite calm. We have calm winds, maybe just watch for gusts at the landing site, but let's not waste time on it today. We'll do some other weather briefing at a different time. So very quickly, the destination, that's an airport that is on the beach shore of Lake Tahoe. It has a runway 18 and 36, and there should be not really anything very special about it. Maybe that if we are coming from the north, then we'll probably land over the city, but that's all right. What it maybe is good to notice is that the preferred arrival is runway 18 and preferred departure runway 36. That's obviously because of the terrain to the south here. But you have an option to choose some different runways, especially in the visual conditions where you can avoid the terrain easily. It's also cold temperature airport, but today we have like 30 degrees there, so it's of no concern today. Route planning, let's actually do it here. So I selected this pair. Since we are planning an IFR flight, I will switch to the IFR chart, and then we need to determine how to go. I will first check the destination and what approaches we have available there. If I go to Lake Tahoe and scroll down, you can see that we have two approaches, RNAV GPS runway 18 and LDA runway 18. Today we are gonna do a LDA one because previous two flights we have flown GPS approaches, so I'll just bring that up. The thing that concerns me is where we are starting the approach from, because I want to use that for my planning purposes. I can see here that we have two initial approach fixes. One is the Mustang Vortag, and the second is Palisades VOR DME. Looking at the map here, I believe that for let's say the Mustang one will be the one to be used, because Palisade, well, even Palisades can be used, but seeing this, I believe that this one is kind of closer for us. So let's do the Vortec one and let's verify if we can even use it. Here it says that procedure is not available for arrival on Mustang Vortec airway radius 167 clockwise 241. If I look at 167 clockwise 241, that's applicable for 167 for Mustang is this one. It's Victor 165. Clockwise 241. That should be this one, so Victor 200. So if you are arriving from here to there in this sector, this procedure is not available for us starting from this vortex. If we are vectored to the final course or to the initial course into the final approach fix, then it's fine, but autonomously we would not be able to fly that. So we know that we should not be using those two, but that's fine. So I'll just move and select this Mustang Vortex into my flight plan, and I can directly see that probably Victor 105 will be a good candidate to actually fly there. We'll see how that goes. Next, I need to check what available departures we have. Point one, we do have VMC conditions, so we can depart VFR and just activate the IFR plan in the air. But let's see what we have available for us. If I go to Hawthorne, I can see that we do not have any published graphical departure procedures here, but that doesn't mean that no procedure exists. If there is not anything here, then we need to look at in the takeoff minimums publication, and I already opened that here and found the Hawthorne Industrial Airport, and you can see that it has takeoff minimums and obstacle departure procedures. So runway 1533, it's not available on the ATC. Runway 1028, so minimums are 4,200 ceiling and 3 statute miles of visibility for something called VCOA, visual climb over airport. And that is also the only procedure that we have available, this visual climb over airport. It says obtain ATC approval for VCOA when requesting IFR clearance. Climb in visual conditions to cross Hawthorne Industrial Airport at or above 8,300, then climb to 11,500 on MVA radial 251 to MVA vortex before proceeding on course. So this is our description of what we should do. This description is kind of a combination of this VCOA and the standard departure procedure. And it says that we should obtain ATC approval for this when requesting IFR clearance. So in addition to when we are requesting IFR clearance, we would also inform them right there that we are intending to fly the VCOA, visual climb over airport. What does it mean? That's if there is a lack of kind of a route or path that we can safely take in IMC conditions, then the alternative is this one, and that means exactly what it says. You will take off and then you will circle the airport all the time, having the airport in sight until you reach the designated altitude, which in this case is 8,300 feet. And normally that's where VCOA ends on other airports, and then you can just go on course. However, here, since we have higher terrain in the vicinity of the airport, it says that after you climb to 8,300 over the airport, then you continue to 11,500 on this radial to MVA vortex. Alright? So this is the procedure that we were gonna take. Now I'll go and look at the chart, and the MVA vortex is this one. It's MENA. So just for the purposes of visualizing where I'm going, I will put it into my plan, like so. And I plan on departing this Hawthorne International Airport, or departing the vicinity of it at 8,300 feet. Then I need to fly on the radial 251. I don't know we have 242 here. This is 270, 260, 250. So it's exactly 251, right? So airport to MVA Vorchak, I believe that this is the radial 251. That doesn't mean you are flying heading 251. On the other hand, you are flying the reciprocal. You are flying the radial 251. That means heading off, let's see what that is, 131 or 171. 131, right? Hope I'm correct. Yeah. Where am I? Probably not. No. I always struggle with this, so it would be 7071. So heading 701 or course 071 here towards this Mina Vortex. When you reach 11,500 feet, you are free to turn back on course. And the back on course that you probably want to join this Victor 105, or you fly all the way here and then just continue flying this Victor 564 and then onward. So I believe what I'll file is this one, MVA Victor 564 FMG, and that should be my flight plan. So before I go any further, let's file that flight plan so you can see how it's done. I need to file flight plan here on VATSIM network. Just sign in. And here we go. So we go. Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie is my call sign. It's gonna be IFR. We are going with Piper Comanche. We are light aircraft equipment. Today I'm filing Alpha because I don't need a GPS unit for this flight. Departure, it's Hawthorne. Off block, now it's 1843, so let's say 1915 maybe. Gonna be like that. Altitude. Okay, so what altitude are we flying? If I check here, we have minimum entry altitude of 11,500, so the 12,000 is maybe a good candidate. Here I can also use 12,000. But then when we check the approach, it actually says that we should fly this lag at 12,400. So not sure if we need to, well, maybe ascend right at the end of it. So for the purposes of this flight, I will file 12,000 feet. Airspeed 150, which I calculated. Arrival is Lake Tahoe. Alternate. Since the weather is forecast to be nice enough, I don't need any alternate, so I will not do that. En route time, if I calculate it like that, is 1 hour and 10 minutes. So I'll put it there. Let's see. 11, let's say 1 hour and 10 minutes then. Maybe a little bit more because I will be climbing over the airport. So let's say 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I will put it as 0115. Fuel endurance, I need to check how much fuel I currently have in the aircraft. So let's see. I currently have, let's see, 15. Let's see it like that. 10 and 12, so 22 gallons. That's about 2 hours of flight. Including the reserves, let's say that I will refuel first to be safe. So I will have a fuel tanks, which is 60 gallons. And in that case, my flight endurance is about 5 hours. So I'll just put 5 hours. Try to not forget to refuel. And I have the route, which I can copy, like so. And I don't need to enter anything else. I'll file it. And immediately my vPilot gives me this how is it called? Yeah, basically auto ATC is some pre-clearance or something, and the squawk code that I should be using in case some controller comes online. So I'll just leave it here so I don't forget to enter it into the aircraft. I will switch off the battery for. All right. So that was my flight plan. Any questions for the flight plan or flight path chosen, or concerns? Maybe I can still explain some of the signs here on the IFR like en route chart. So first of all, we have these flags with X's. This marks that this intersection has a minimum crossing altitude, aka MCA, and the details are here. So if we are flying Victor 105 southeast, then we need to cross this urine intersection at 12,500 feet, right? But we are flying northwest, so that doesn't concern us. The fact that this intersection is kind of alone and we have these T-shaped endings on the route means that at this point there is some change in the minimum en route altitude and you need to pay attention. If you have, for example, here Jimpa, that means these T sections are missing. That means that there is no minimum en route altitude change at this point. Another maybe mark that is of interest might be this one. If you can see this kind of S shape or the shape, and on one side it says 55 and on the other it says 72. Normally when you are flying VOR to VOR, you are expected to change the navigation from one to the other in the middle of that route. However, and there might be some circumstances, most often it's either the effective distance of the VOR or range, effective range of the VOR, or some terrain. And that means that you should not switch over from one to the other in the middle, but at this sign. And what this means is that it's 55 miles to this VOR and it's 72 miles to this VOR. So when you are flying, for example, here northwest, then when you reach DME 55 from Bodale, it's time to switch over to Mustang and follow the inbound radial, or follow the radial inbound from that point on. That's another one that might be interesting. Then obviously this one has directional minimum en route altitudes. So flying northwest is 10,000 feet, flying southeast it's 11,500. Again, something to pay attention to. This flag means that the DME all the way from the station up until this point is 46. This number is 21. That's also distance, but that's the distance between the intersections, so from there to there. And we also have a total distance of the leg from one VOR to the other, and that's in the rectangle here, 127. And when you add 72 and 55, you get 127. So you know that this is correct. So what else? Minimum crossing altitude at Mustang doesn't concern us really because that's where we start the approach. Any other sign that you would like to explain that you don't understand? What's here? Or are we good?
Good for now, I think.
Okay, so let's move forward. So that was destination, that was route planning. So departure, all right. Obviously check the weather, it's clear. File a flight plan, we did that. Determine runway and departure procedures, we also did that. So runway, if I look at the weather that is currently reported, Then it's 350 at 7. So I believe that the best runway for us would be what? If we ignore 33 and 15, because that's some dirt runway, I believe that's 20, runway 28, and it's also closer to our FBO, so that's fine. It's gonna be runway 28. Then we will be climbing over the airport to 8,300, and then to 11,500 to Mina Vortag, and then proceed on course. Before proceeding on course. Yeah, so this actually is saying that we should fly all the way to MVA Vortex before proceeding on course, not just that you can deviate from it whenever you like. Again, ATC can vector you in. If the ATC is not there, you can just vector yourself, obviously. So you don't need to fly all the way there if you're already high enough. And what is high enough? If I check this this Victor 105, the minimum en route altitude is actually 14,000 feet on this lag, and the reason is that the reason will be for the signal signal reception, because then we have another altitude which is 11,200, and that's MOCA, that's minimum obstacle clearance altitude. So you are quite fine to fly 11,200 on this lag, but then you are not, it's not guaranteed that you will have the VOR signal. So if you can fly using GPS without the VOR signal, then you can fly even this 11,200. And as it says here, there is also the GPS only minimum altitude if you are not flying Victor 105, but Tango 274, which is kind of overlaid here. So for my purposes, I will, since it's VMC conditions, as soon as I hit a good enough altitude, I'll just turn north and vector myself on this airway in order not to fly this far unnecessarily. All right, so that's departure procedure. Then we have either VFR departure and IFR clearance in the air, or we have IFR clearance on the ground. The difference is when you contact the ATC for the first time. When copying our clearance in the US, we are using a CRAFT acronym. So we can type this or write this on the paper, and then just fill in those lines as we are given the clearance. And we have a 1 in and a 1 out rule that is for regular members of this flight. You know that at any point at time or in time in the US, if you have an untowered field, only one aircraft can be cleared into an IFR departure or arrival at the same time. So if we are flying a group flight and there is an ATC, I would prefer, if we can, to do the VFR departure and then get IFR clearance in the air, because otherwise they won't be able to clear another one until the first one is certain amount of distance away from the airport. And radio calls, yeah, so this is basically the format that you should use to get the IFR clearance. I would add here, because we want to use this VCOA procedure, so it would be something like, and I cannot remember what the facility is here. So let's get there and find out. We have Hawthorne Industrial. If I check chart supplement, clearance delivery phone, Oakland ARTCC at the number. So on VATSIM, we would contact Oakland Center or Oakland Approach. So the call could be like Oakland Approach, November 123 Alpha Bravo, at Hawthorne Industrial, request IFR to Lake Tahoe, visual climb over the airport, departing via VCOA, something like that. And then they can clear you, and you will write down so where we are cleared, what route we are cleared for, what altitude, departure frequency, and the squawk code. At the end, they will tell you hold for release if you're requesting that on the ground, and that's also what you should repeat. Then, if you have that IFR clearance, then they will hand you over, or they will just allow you to change frequency to CTAF again, because then it's time for you to coordinate with any other traffic that might be at the airport. So you self-announce your intentions. And when you are at the hold short point of the runway, then you tune in the center or approach again, and then you will tell them that you are ready for IFR departure. And again, you can stress again that will be flying the VCOA. And they will give you the clearance. The most important, what is required to repeat is that you are released for departure, the clearance void time, and that the frequency change is approved. Remember, again, you will need to go back to CTAF and actually announce your takeoff. And once you are away from CTAF, so you make your final call, then it's time to tune in the frequency you were given at the clearance and contact the facility again with your altitude and optionally position. If you are getting IFR clearance in the air, so you depart VFR, then this clearance will be much simpler because you will just be cleared to, and you will be given route altitude but no frequency and transponder code. Yes, so route altitude clearance and transponder code, but it's kind of shorter in the air. That's good. Yep, these are like some CTAF calls. Remember, you need to check the frequency. And then we have en route and arrival. So once you are en route, you should keep track of your progress. Obviously, you should have your nav log ready, and at the same time also preparing yourself for the arrival. A good thing is to actually proactively request the approach that you want with ATC. On the other hand, they can assign the approach themselves. If you don't want that particular approach, just ask for a different one, and they will give it to you if they can facilitate that for you. When it's agreed what approach you will be getting, you can get something like this: November 123 Alpha Bravo, cross Mustang at or above 12,400, cleared LDA runway 18 approach. In that case, you will just repeat that. And as always, if your descent starts before reaching Mustang, so before you are on the published part of the approach, you need to inform ATC if you are leaving that altitude. If the descent starts after Mustang, that means you are already on the charted path or charted section of the approach. You don't need to announce to ATC you're leaving the altitude anymore. When they give you that you should cross it at or above 12,400, that doesn't mean that you need to descend immediately. It depends on your how you plan your descent, basically. Since I will be basically flying the altitude, I might even need to climb a little bit to get there. In that case, I would give something else. Maybe before reaching that, they would tell me climb 12,400, something like that. Remember to brief the approach, including the missed approach procedure. And let's see. So the approach itself. LDA stands for Localizer Directional Aid, or Localizer Type Directional Aid. It's for situations where it's flown exactly as the localizer approach. Why it is not called localizer approach is that the final approach course is not aligned with the runway. And I believe that there is like margin of 3 degrees or something like that, that the localizer can be offset a little bit. But this is a little bit more. You can see that the final approach course is 171. It's runway 18. And again, if I check for example I should have, no, I don't have it. I thought I had the airport diagram here. So if I diagram, I can see that the magnetic direction or heading is 180 basically. So it's 9 degrees off. So that's when the LDA approach comes in handy. Most LDA approaches have also a glide slope indication, but in that case, the minimum would say like /GS. This one doesn't have a glide slope. Not in the real life. In the simulator, you might get one because sometimes it just doesn't represent it correctly, or your GPS unit can also give you some advisory glide slope. But don't rely on that, and plan it as if there is no glide slope available for you, or glide slope indication. So that's LDA, and the straight-in minimums, as is in this case, can be published if the offset is not more than 30 degrees. Also, as you can see, this one doesn't have any circling minima. So we are forced to land at runway 18 if we are flying this approach. The alternative obviously is to cancel the IFR plan before you reach the airport, and in that case, you just do what you do. But if you don't, then you should be landing on runway 18. If I check the winds right now, it's not really good, right, for runway 18. We have some tailwind. So some operators might even forbid landing on this runway in these conditions. But we'll do our best, and I believe that we could manage in our small GA aircraft and runway of 8,500 feet length. So what we have, so when we reach Mustang, it's time to do a left turn and fly at 12,400 all the way to Kings International to intercept the localizer course. When we do so, we can start descending as it's written here. And we have several steps. We have 10,200 at Yukuf, 9,500 at Fabik, which is our final approach fix. We can recognize that by seeing this Maltese cross here. And then we continue descending through Zasab, 8,800, and then all the way there. Our minimum descent altitude is 7,160 feet, which is 900 feet above the ground for our category. Now, we can either do like dive and drive approach. So as soon as we fly through Kings, then we rapidly descend to 10,200, then fly level, and then descend again, fly level. Or we can do something called CDA, continuous descent approach, which means that we can try to gauge what kind of descent rate we need to fly in order to be like stabilized and nice on this course. For that, I will help myself with this climb and descent table, as well as a E6B flight computer and the profile. So we know that we need to descend from 12,400 all the way to Fabik to 9,500, right? We should try to aim to cross the final approach fix at the published altitude, to be honest. So we need to lose about 3,000 feet in about 11 miles. Now we can use the E6B flight computer to actually calculate how much feet or how many feet we need to lose per nautical mile, right? So we have to lose 3,000 feet, and we need to do that in 11 nautical miles. So I will line up 30, which is 3,000 feet, with 11 here, and we'll just do the division in a way that we are dividing 30 with 11, and then we move over to where 10 is written, and here we read out the result. So in this case, the result is about 27 something, right? 27. So let's say 27. And if I kind of calculate the decimals, this time it means that we should descend 270 feet per nautical mile in order to reach from 12,400 to 9,500. Now, descending 270 feet per nautical mile means we have feet per nautical mile. That means that we need to do roughly this one, so a 2.5 degree descent angle. Depending on our ground speed, that would mean a different feet per minute. So let's say that at this point of flight, I'm doing ground speed of about 120 knots maybe, and that would mean that I should be descending with 530 feet per minute, give or take. But we need to make sure that we adhere to all those minima. So we cannot descend below 10,200 at Yukov. Here I don't think we'll have that problem because we need to lose 2,000 feet on 8 miles and then only 700 feet on 3 miles. So we should actually be higher at Yukov and then getting to 9,500 here at the final approach point. Right? So that's it. Or we can do another thing, because here it says that we should be we should do a 3-degree course, or this is like a visual descent path, or sorry. Again, this is the descent angle from final approach fix all the way to the missed approach point, or here. And you can see it's different. We calculated that we are doing 2.5 before final approach fix, and here it says 3 after it. So you can even try to calculate, a different position when to start descending, so you can all do it at 3 degrees. But I'll just try to get to final approach fix here, steadily starting the descent at Kings, and then transition, because at the same time I will be slowing down on this final portion. I don't want to do 120 knots ground speed in this portion, even though wind might actually push me there, because if we are expecting some tailwind, maybe our ground speed will be a little bit higher. But then you can reference this table, and for example, for 3-degree course with ground speed, let's say 90, we should be doing almost 500 feet per minute. So you can use this table to kind of gauge that. And again, pay attention and make sure that you cross ZASAP at or above 8,800 feet. If we need to execute the missed approach, where is actually the missed approach point? We can tell by seeing this when this dotted line starts, and it's actually when the DME of the localizer reads 4. The reason it's not the runway itself is that if we continue all the way to the runway, we don't have any space to make the turn, and we could hit the terrain. So we need to execute the missed approach point still over the lake, right? And how to do that? Missed approach point is described here, so we should do climbing right turn to 11,000 on heading 329er, and Palisades for VOR DME, radial 102 to this Palisades VOR DME and hold. That means that we will do the turn here. Once we reach, or once we intercept the radial 102, we'll turn left, follow that radial, and then enter the holding pattern, which is here. So we hold on the radial 218 inbound, and we do left turns. So in this case, I believe direct entry is actually a good thing to do. Or even, yeah, it would be either direct or maybe teardrop. It's kind of on the verge of those two. And then we would hold, and then from there we can try that approach again. Any questions to this?
Just wondering, there's an RNF approach to runway 18, and that one has circling minimums published. I wonder
Circling
why
minima?
this one, yeah, for the RNF 18 has circling minima published. Just wondering why the RNF has circling minimums and the localizer and the LDA does not.
Let's see. I don't know. I was debating at one time when we were still doing the Astoria thing, and I, from the same kind of reason, I was very curious why the RNF approach to runway 26 had circling minima, but the ILS approach did not. And the answer in that case was that if the approach plate has only precision minima, so ILS, because it was not ILS localizer, localizer ILS, it was just ILS, then it's not possible, or it's not allowed to enter also circling minima. But this plate is not a precision approach, it's a non-precision approach. So I don't know why it doesn't have a circling minima.
It's just an older approach and nobody bothered to change it.
Or it might be that the same kind of rule applies for LDA approaches. Because as I said, the most LDA approaches also have a glide slope available. And I don't think this one has. Because it's also like a lightning bolt here to intercept the glide slope. So I should expect that it doesn't have a glide slope. So it's not a precision approach. Yeah, I don't know. Then the localizer is offset only 5.5 degrees and not 9. Interesting. Well, anyway, it's offset a little bit. So that's quite it. As always, I am here. I will be streaming on Twitch. I will be ending the stream here on Discord. And if you have any questions anytime, feel free to ask. If I have a capacity to reply immediately, I will. If not, I will try to come back to you as soon as possible. And happy flying.
Happy flying.
Happy fun.
Let's just start the aircraft right now, and then we can do the rest. Keep it. We will warm this, but just seeing the temperature, it's probably not needed that much. Anyway, beacon is on. Fuel. Crack this one. Full prop. Yes. Then fuel pump. Getting some pressure. Fuel tanks. And it's rising slowly. Yes, so put it down. Let's verify what tanks are we using. So we have should do left tank starters. All right. Let's try it without the primer because at this point, well, no, let's do one stroke. So, and let's try to start it up. Body round, clear prop, parking brake set. Okay, kind of stopped. That's all right now. Reduce the RPM to 1000. Check the oil pressure, it's in the green. Okay, avionics master on. And I will leave the mixture a bit because we're quite high. Save me those spark plugs. Let's clear that one. Yes, today we refueled to 60, save it. Good. So we have full fuel tanks. Picked like that. Very good. We'll close these so I can be heard better. Do navigation lights, or actually not, because need them. Great. Let's do squawk. We have 5556. And it was assigned to us. I won't be entering anything in the flight plan today because I want to do that completely without the GPS. Pressure. Probably get the new one, but 3005 is a good guess. Thing like that. And if I compare that to the airfield elevation, which is, where is it here, 4230, we have just that. Let's set up the directional gyro there. It's 155, so roughly like that. We'll be using runway 28 for departure, if I'm not mistaken, which is 283. Yes. So heading goes to 283. It's already basically there. Good. And I will now then concentrate on the departure procedure. So one more thing, I need CTAM frequency 122.8. all right. So I need to do, when I'm finished climbing over the airport, I need to go to the NVA vortex, so I need to definitely tune in that one. And NVA vortex is frequency is 115.1, so I'll enter it here, 115.1. It's already entered, as you can see, and it's identified. I need to also put it here to get the DME reading. That's fine. And the radial is already set. No, it's not. Radial is need to be 251, was it? But I will fly inbound, so I need to the tail part or tail end of my needle here to 251. It may be like that. Yes, that's the first one I'm gonna be flying. To the standby frequencies, I will do the next one that I will be using, and that's the Mustang, the Vortex, which is 117.9er. So let's check 117.9er, and also 117.9er here. Right, I'll use that afterwards. I will switch to the distance here. It's 28 miles, which is correct. I'm surprised I have a signal, because there's some terrain. Should not have any signal right now. And obviously later I need to tune in the localizer, but I don't have a free box for that, so I'll just do it afterwards. So after departing runway 28, which is like that, I will, due to the terrain, probably do a right turn and climb over the airport, and when I reach 8,300 feet, I will join this radial, fly all the way there. I will climb to 12,000 feet, which is my en route portion. And actually, I will not do only 12,000.
36 Foxtrot, type Dara Kodiak on the FBO ramp, taxiing to runway 28 Hawthorne.
Yeah, okay, so this is 11,500, so 12,000 is enough. Okay, so I will fly to 12,000 and then fly here and join this one. Continue. It's quite a turn. Maybe a little bit before reaching that, I will try to make the turn. Okay, and then I'll just continue flying like that, and I will reference the map from time to time. I will publish my navlog, because I want to keep track if I don't forget. I'm always telling others.
Hawthorne International traffic, November 901 Papa Charlie, Papa Comanche on the ramp, taxiing to runway 28 behind the caravan, Hawthorne.
To keep track, and sometimes I do forget. So my first point will be the MV Vortex. Obviously, it should take me 13 minutes to get all the way there, but that's kind of skewed because I will be circling here first. I will put the timer page here. So most likely I will start tuning or measuring time exactly from MV Vortex. I will put on the map just for taxiing, because that's what this is actually useful for. There is a taxiway there. So let's see. Hawthorne traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie Piper Comanche on the ramp by the FBO and taxiing to runway 28 behind the Kodiak. Hawthorne. And correction, I will be taxiing behind the Comanche. Hawthorne. Yep, so there's the Comanche, and we're going after
I'm
them.
sorry, Christian, I called you a plane, a caravan. It's a Kodiak.
How can I ever forgive you?
That's unforgivable sin.
Maybe it's the model matching.
Banned for life.
Oh no.
No.
Ah yes, it's a model matching. 208 Grand Caravan. It says.
Test brakes working. Instruments, compass, steering, direction, gyro.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima on the ramp. Taxiing to runway 28 behind the other Comanche, Hawthorne.
Have the wind from the north.
Hawthorne traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, departing runway 28, left downwind departure. Hawthorne.
I will put the map so on my second screen. I don't clutter that. This one here. Sort of slightly into the wind, the cooling of the engine. Today I will need to climb a little bit, maybe with the richer setting, because the air is quite high, and also doing a little bit faster airspeed, not to overheat the engine. Right, so a little bit mixture in, not full, well 4000 I can do full, then find other settings. Go to 2000 RPM. We lean a little bit to find. So I will lean a bit. Reduce to 2000. I will use this one for departure. So right magneto, back, left magneto, back. Circle the oil in my prop.
traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning left downwind, runway 28, Hawthorne.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 91 Papa Charlie, taking off runway 28, left downwind departure. Hawthorne.
Right. Now let's reduce to 1500 and test the carb heat. We have RPM drop, that's good. And idle. Alright. Back. Okay.
Hawthorne traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning left downwind, runway 28, Hawthorne.
So trim, no flaps, that's alright. Strobe lights, fuel pump, landing lights. Hawthorne traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, taking off runway 28 and we'll be doing a right hand circles over the airport all the way to 8,000 feet. Then I will continue east. Hawthorne.
Hawthorne traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, downwind, runway 28. We'll be doing a climb over the field to 8,300 and then depart to the east. Hawthorne.
Hawthorne traffic, 91 Papa Charlie, turning left downwind for runway 28.
Up.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, departing runway 28. We'll be doing a visual climb over the airport to the north of the airport to 8,000 feet. Hawthorne.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 91 Papa Charlie, turning over the field at 6,500 and we'll continue north.
Right, let's keep it rich. Let's continue climbing. Hawthorne traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie after departure from runway 28 and commencing my right hand turns to climb over the field. We'll watch for other traffic. Hawthorne. The field is there. Try to do very shallow turns so I can keep my lift as much as possible. I will also increase my airspeed a bit because higher airspeed will give me better cooling. See any other traffic? Yeah, temperatures are almost in the red. Let's actually increase my airspeed still a little bit more.
Hawthorne traffic, Coda 36 Foxtrot, or field at 8,300, departing to the east. Final call, Hawthorne.
Bit gusty today.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 91 Papa Charlie, now over Walker Lake at 9,300 feet, climbing to 12,500 feet, northbound. Final call, Hawthorne.
So 1,000 feet more to climb, and we have not even finished the first 360 turn. That's alright, we can always accelerate our turn. There's another aircraft there doing the same. Can turn off the landing gear to off position. And I'm slowly getting myself to on the course. Let's lean a bit. Have the airfield above us. Hawthorne traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, over the field at 8,300 and starting heading east away from the airport. Final call, Hawthorne. So that was exactly right, 8,300, and I can continue. And obviously we should continue climbing to 11,500 at least, or in our case to 12,000, which is our final cruising altitude.
Hawthorne traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, about 5 miles east of the airport, 8,300 feet, and we'll be continuing to the east. Hawthorne traffic.
I will test if I can already tune in and reach the Mustang VOR. So on my second navigation radio, I will switch the frequency. I can read the distance. This audio identification, I believe, doesn't really work here for me for some reason. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I believe. In any case, that distance is quite right, and here on my second VO receiver, I'll just tune the radial 119er. the 119er at the bottom, so I will be flying 2. The 119er is actually here. It seems like I'm almost there. So since I don't see anything and we are in VMC conditions, I'll probably vector myself on that path. But for now we are following the inbound radial 251 into the INA vortex. We have a little bit of gusts here. Need to battle that one. Check the distance. It's 20 miles still to Mina Vortex, so I'll switch back to the Mustang VOR. Actually, I should have the cold VOR tuned in to follow the inbound course first, because I'm not at that VOR change, evade changed intersection or point yet. We're almost there. I believe that we are on the airway, and if I look there to, well, it's actually behind me, 30, should be just fine flying there. I have a good terrain separation, so let's do that. I will turn to 299er. I'll just vector myself there and continue climbing to 12,000. Then I'll do a very shallow turn. It's kind of a combination of well, vectoring myself, not flying all the way to the Mina VOR. In that case, I will also switch the primary frequency. And in the course, like so, and then I should be able to recognize, well, first one will be Yerin, which is the point that is at DME 46 from Mustang. It's quite a while yet. So I will make use of the fact that I already have the reception of this VOR here in the simulator. In real life I would not have it yet at all. we are reaching 12,000 feet. Actually, let's actually do it properly. So here I should still have the Coaldale one, which is 117.7 OL VOR, yes. On the radial 300. Let's use there. And also let's do that frequency also here. And get the reading of 47.2. And when I'm at 55 DME, I will then didn't stop climbing. Set that I'm already at 12,000 feet, but didn't stop climbing. At least now I can accelerate a little bit faster. My final cruise speed. At this altitude, let's say that we're doing 2100 RPM, 55 brake horsepower, that's fine. I need to lean the engine a bit. So 11 gallons per hour fuel burn, that's all right. Can still see the airport if I'm not mistaken, someplace there maybe. Let's focus on flying here. So 2 more miles and then we can switch over. We'll switch tanks now. Right, we have been climbing on the left tank, so let's now use the right tank. I'll do a little bit of rudder trim to keep me straight. Yeah, 54, I believe it's time to switch. So let's switch to the next one, and there as well. And in there we should be following the course of 299er. So yeah, on the 119er radio. I believe that so when I reach Yaren, it's gonna be time to mark the time there. Let's see if it's gonna be 33 minutes, because we took some time to climb, but then we took a significant shortcut. I'm not touching controls at all right now. Wants to slightly drift to the left, to the right, I think, so I'll just add a tad bit of left rudder trim. See if that will actually help. I also want to calculate my true airspeed. For that I need to know my pressure altitude, which is It's about 12,000 feet, maybe a little bit lower, but that doesn't really matter. Let's take the ESP6 calculator, and the outside air temperature is about 0 degrees. So let's mark it at 0 degrees at 12,000 feet. Let's not turn that much. My indicated airspeed is about 125 knots or 124 knots. That means that I am doing about 152 through airspeed, which is almost what I calculated, so it should be fine. My true airspeed, as said by Little Navmap, is 153, so that's almost correct. I said at DME 46 I should be at Yering, and then I can... So, strictly speaking, now I should be at 14,000 feet, but Oroka is 11,200, so I'm safe from the obstacles. However, I should not be getting any signal from the Vortec or VORDME Vortec for now. That's that. We have some traffic in red. Let's switch to the map just to see the traffic, where they are. There to the right. If we can see them, maybe they are converging probably are converging from this Victor 564. They were more disciplined than I was. We're actually flying that. Might be. If I check the world VFR, I'm right here. Might actually be that one. But they are very close to me. Can I spot them? Really? Traffic alert, traffic alert. The engine is running quite smoothly. Cylinder head temperature is managed. Find that. Where are they? We are at the same altitude and visible. Cannot see them. Overcoming them. Oh, there they are. They are. So it's Gene. Hey Gene, so we are flying next to each other. He's a little bit off right now. Let's see what kind of weather stations we have on the way. This one has an altimeter 3003. That one 3017, 3007, 3008. I wonder why this is so high. 3007. Well, I will tune in probably 3017 because that's one I'm gonna be approaching, but for now I'll stay on this one, so we're closer. So 52 miles. When it hits 46, we are at Yeren, and I can finally for the first time start my timer. And we can use this to, we should be 30, so just a slight correction there. We just keep myself straight for this. Yeah, like so, I believe. 49. Just switch on the navigation lights so others can better see me in the simulator, because obviously those are the only lights that can be seen. Still don't have any controller today. I'm drifting from my course, so let's get back to it. .4. .7. 0.5. And it starts 27 minutes and 5 seconds. So I'll just quickly put it here. 7.0. Like so. I'll check my ground speed. Where's the station? It says 152. And calculated is 147 and 152 here, so about right. Next is Rian. If I check the map, Rian is at DME of 25, and we should fly there for almost 9 minutes. Scenery is beautiful as always. can take our time and actually tune in the localizer frequency, at least into the standby mode. So what I don't need anymore, this one, that one. So the frequency is 108.9er. Let's tune it into both boxes. 108, yes, 0.9er. And the second one, 108.9er. Yes. And the course will be 171. Do that here for the start before it goes to my main instrument. 171. There we go. Will be basically circling these mountains and coming back to Lake Tahoe at some point. Traffic alert is still blaring. They're behind us right now. It's good. Fuel's looking good, still less fuel in left tank. Everything is looking nice. Climbing a little bit, momentarily reduce some power. Get back to 12,000 feet. Still 10 miles to Rion. And to my frequency, the CTAF on this one is 122.85. What's that? I'll just tune in 122.85. Duration. I'll already pitch it over. We can listen on some traffic. Might be listening there. almost at 12,000, so gently increase the power. That much. We're nearing 25. It's so peaceful up here. So we are coming up on 25 DME. Eight minutes 15 seconds. 8.25. Then we have another 4 minutes all the way to Chime. And Chime is gonna be at 15 DME. Slowly getting up. Slowly approaching the turning point. From where to start the approach. Already start seeing some fog there. Could it be that they have some fog or mist? We already have those gusts from 180 from the south. That's actually good for the runway we are using. We'll see how that goes. It's quite new. I believe it's time to tune our SATD 3017 meter. Yes. I will not descend anymore because I actually need to ascend a little bit to 12,400. Let's just increase the RPM a bit and let's see if that makes a difference and if that makes me climb a bit. Doesn't need to be fast climb. It's very gentle climb is enough. Yeah, we do have some fog, mist or something like that visible. We'll see how that looks like when we come through that. It was not good to have tuned this one because first I will need to fly the 2-1 course to Hero. So that's actually the first one that I should have put there. one. But even more RPM. We're coming up at 15 miles. It's 4 minutes. Good. Next is the Vorchag itself, 6 minutes. And then obviously we need to turn on our approach. I've already prepared my heading buck. Place there. Still missing 100 feet. But I'll get there, I'm confident. Right, I believe that this is good enough. Can lower my RPM back to 2100. Obviously I have put the wrong heading there, it should be there. Last 8 miles. City there. It's nice to be able to see where we are flying, even on IFR flight plan. So the fuel quantity in both tanks have equalized. I will make use of this very smooth air to set my directional gyro again. Should be there. You're very close. We are quite high, so we will read not the 0, but when I'm at 2 I will start turning. I will map the other side so I can be in the approach. Okay, missed that, right? I will start turning there. Intercept the 1201 radial there. So now it's coming here. Came fast because I'm quite close. Let's get back to it. All right. Let's switch it, like turn this also here so I have better representation, because it's easier to be done here on the VSI, HSI, not VSI. Alright, and on my second one I will tune in the 171. And I know that I should fly 21 miles on this course, so I will use that one. Time was about 6 minutes. I will reset it, and 0.606.0. And now I'm flying here, and already on the published part of the approach. So all the way to Kings, I should fly at 12,400 at least. So I will do so, and then I will start descending. For now, my ground speed is 135. Now I'm going against the wind. So I would like to slow to about 120. And that means, where is my descent table? Pull it out. It's hidden. 120 I want to do, and that means that I need to descend about 530 feet per minute, and also I need to slow down for 120 on the localizer. Now I'm still flying towards Kings, and weather seems to be interesting. We'll see how that looks like. I'm still far ahead. Starting to get gusty here. Switch to left tank. We'll finish this flight on the left tank. It almost looks like that it will be behind these mountains. Probably so, yes.
Lake Tahoe traffic, November 36 Foxtrot, type cardiac on 16 mile, final runway 18, Lake Tahoe.
Roger. Visit 164. It's 8 plus 5 is 13. Yeah. I'll make a call when I'm at 10 miles at final approach fix. I believe that's enough. It's getting bumpy. Combined 0.3, so let's start slowing down a bit. That means putting some power, maintaining altitude. So our minima are 7,160 feet. I mean minimum descent, yeah, descent altitude. Still 5 miles to go. Turn on the landing lights, fuel pump, turn off navigation so I can see the gear indication better. I've slowed down. 18 miles. So I will turn my second radio into the localizer frequency, getting the signal. Able to verify that here, and already I will also tune in the Palisades VOR, which is the missed approach point of 113.2, my second box. 3.2, just to have it ready there. And I'm descending. I didn't want to descend that much. Let's get back. And I'm watching this one to align on there, and then start, once aligned, I will start descending with about 500 feet per minute, and we'll see how it goes. It's getting closer, already moved.
Lake Tahoe traffic, code 36 Foxtrot, 9 mile final runway 18, Lake Tahoe.
Switch the heading back. I know where to turn. Almost on course. Yes, so let's turn there. And let's start descending. Switch also the navigation radio there. Carb heat on. Let's pull the power and let's start descending. So, by the DME of 12.4, we should still be at 10,200 feet. After that, add a little power because I don't want to descend too fast. Just watching the instruments for now. Okay, it's oscillating, so let's try to help it with the elevator a bit. Stabilize the aircraft. Check our ground speed. 126 knots, yes, so descent a little bit more than 530. If this is fine. So by 12.3 we should still be quite alright. Trying to keep there correctly. Very gusty. We are fortunate that we have VMC that we can see outside. It's much easier to control the plane when you can see outside. We're staying on the localizer. We can also tune in the missed approach frequency on our main F1, so we have it ready there. Seems like we have some winds from the right.
Traffic code 36 Foxtrot, about a 3 mile final runway 18, full stop landing, Lake Tahoe.
Checking the instruments. 14.6, so 2 more miles until Yukov. Yes, we will be above 10,200, so that's good. Yeah, so now we are at Yukov right now. We're still descending all the way to Fabik. 9.5, which is our final approach fix. We can increase our rate of descent a little bit to get there on 9,500 feet. Believe. Let's do that. We don't have any glide slope, as is correct. Okay, deviating a little bit from the localizer, so let's get back on track. And then it's gonna be descent to 8,800 first, and then 7,160. .1. Fabric is at 9.5, we should be at 9,500. We are above, we are quite above, so let's cut the power. Actually help ourselves with increasing the RPM, descend more. And we are at the final approach fix, so I will also lower the gear.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, runway 18 located, Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, Piper Comanche on the final for runway 18, 10 miles, Lake Tahoe. Okay, so 7.4 is 8,800 feet. So 7.4, we are
Tahoe
right
traffic,
there.
Comanche 91 Papa Charlie on a 14 mile final for runway 18. I do not have the traffic in front in sight yet. Lake Tahoe.
So now 4 miles and 7,150 and 60. Let's keep descending. 4 miles is the missed approach point, so I need to look up at 4 miles and see if I can see the runway. I'm intentionally looking down to deprive myself of the senses or of the situation awareness there. Still 1.5 miles to go. We're still well above the minima. Landing gear is down. Almost at minima, 100 feet more. Okay, let's look up. Where is the runway? There it is. Okay, runway inside. Lake Tahoe traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, 4 mile final, runway 18, full stop. Lake Tahoe. Okay, I can see the runway, I have visual, so let's continue. to flaps 2. Full prop. A little bit shallow there. Less RPM.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Comanche 91 Papa Charlie on a 6 mile final, runway 18.
Okay. Carb heat off. Lake Tahoe traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, short final, runway 18, full stop, Lake Tahoe. Alright. It's gonna be Foxtrot.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Comanche 6529 at Lima is on a 7.5 mile final, Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Comanche 91 Papa Charlie, short final, runway 18, full stop.
Lake Tahoe traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, vacated the runway 18 via Foxtrot and continuing to the ramp, Lake Tahoe. Right, strobe lights are off, yes. Oh, this is a nice building. I'll park my car here. Actually, let's think. Okay, let's go to the others. brake, set. Right, fuel selector, main, good.
Lake Tahoe traffic,
1000
Comanche
RPM.
91 Papa Charlie has vacated runway 18.
Avionics off. Master switch off. Everything off. And magneto. Alright. I believe it was a pretty nice flight today. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time as well. So flight from Hawthorne Industrial to Lake Tahoe. Very nice airport, very nice approach, and I believe that today also the landing was quite smooth. I'm happy about that. Bye bye.